following me?
I told you she's onto us.
Now, the rest of the plan is simple. I fly to the moon. I shrink the moon. I grab the moon.
Creeper.
Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews, where I get you caught up on the oldest movies, and welcome to the first episode of Ralph Bakshi-a-thon. Now, Ralph Bakshi was a animator or artist in the 1960s and 70s who made a lot of creative animation stuff. And the first movie he's ever done was called Fritz the Cat, and it was considered to be the first animated movie made for adults. So it came out before South Park and Family Guy. So before all that, this was the first. So what's Fritz the Cat about? So Fritz the Cat, you know Fritz, he's a pot smoking anthropomorphic college student who gets out of college because of burning down the college, and now he goes through New York to experience the life as a hippie. Well, the plot is kind of all over the place. That's one of the first problems. Like, there's this one where he's in where he brings in a lot of...
Are you in there?
Yes, I am in here, buddy. I'm busy right now.
You're not?
I'm in here, buddy. This is probably not the best time to,
Hey, Mary, come here.
I'm doing a review right now. We'll talk later, okay?
Ben.
Yep, that's Deadpool. Hey, Merrick, can you get out for just 1 second? Cousin Luke's trying to get some work done.
Hey, Luke. You guys have to come in here.
Well, I'm busy doing a review right now. I have people watching me.
Come here, Merrick.
Yeah, just... Okay, thank you, buddy. Sorry about that. So, there's this one plot where Fritz is brings these three girls in to take him to make out with them for a while, and then there's another scene where Fritz goes to a some sort of church that's for Jewish people, and then there's one where he's in a bar and he meets this guy named Duke, and then Duke drives him, and then get into a car crash. Then Fritz meets this black woman, I'm assuming makes out with her, and then Fritz starts a revolution against the bosses. It was pretty hard to explain, but then he goes with his old girlfriend, travels him to the desert. They lost their car, and then he meets this female horse, and this rabbit who's like a neo-Nazi or something. And then the neo-Nazi gets mad at the horse, and then at the end, Fritz blows up a power plant and ends up in the hospital. And then the female horse, she became a nun. And the three girls come to the hospital to visit Fritz, and then he just does the same that he does in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, kind of a complicated plot. Yeah, I think that was the first time in a review that I reviewed the whole plot. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? I know many people are pretty split when it came to this movie. I mean, the movie was a big hit. It was like the 10th highest grossing film in 1972, but reviews, they were pretty split at the time, so... Where am I in this category? Well, I can't say it's a perfect movie, but I can say this was a weird experience. Like, much like Sausage Party, it has a great concept, but it is a weird thing it's kind of hard to understand the story and the characters. Fritz was sort of the same way. It's a weird experience. It's kind of, if you grew up in the 60s or the 70s, you're probably going to get into it fine. But my two biggest problems with Fritz is that I don't like Fritz himself. I mean, he's got a few funny moments, but he's just an not interesting character, and he's kind of hateful. So, and I've seen hateful main characters, but only when they're done right. The animation is pretty impressive for its time. I mean, yeah, it's 70s animation, but for a first Ralph Bakshi movie, it's pretty friggin' impressive. The characters are not memorable, except I do like at least 2 or 3 characters. The first 2 are the pit cops. Those are the pit cops are what steal the show for me. They're like in the first, but here's the problem though. They're in the beginning of the movie, but after during a riot, they just disappear. It was pretty bizarre. I really hate that. They were like the best. I love those guys. They were like the best characters of the movie. And Ralph Bakshi did do the voice of one of the pigs. And the other one was Duke. I thought Duke was a pretty cool character. But aside from that, nobody else wasn't that interesting. Some of them were either forgettable or just unlikable. And I get that this is a mean-spirited world, much like Family Guy or South Park. You kind of have to admit that it's just people doing stupid things. But at least give us a little more variety and more heart to it, you know? So overall, as a first movie for Ralph Bakshi, it's not bad. It's not great. I mean, he would get better. We're going to get, for my next review, it's going to be better. I promise you that. But for a first movie, it's fine. I give Fritz a 8 out of 10 movie. It's not perfect, but I totally understand why it's giving a lot of credit. It's getting less credit than it's been given before. And I will admit, it's not Ralph Bakshi's best work. But then again, his next 2 movies, we're going to get to those pretty soon. So, that's my first Ralph Bakshi review. And I'm going to do another one sometime this summer. I'm hoping to get through all 12 movies, or at least how many. I forgot how many movies he has. I think 10, I think. But anyways, this is LTM signing out, and we'll be right back to Ralph Bakshi-a-thon.
Hello? Yes?
What are those Neanderthals up to? Don't they know I'm busy spoiling myself?
月読みの世界では